All right, this is going to be a quick screencast of how to use contacts in Jeffco Google Apps. When you first log in, you may be coming in off Employee Connections or maybe a link on your school webpage, but you should be able to get to this Jeffco Google Apps resource. Either way, one or another, you're going to get to Documents. So I'm clicking in the top left corner, going into my Documents, and for this purpose, I'm just going to create a new document and show how I would share using the new contacts that's been turned on. So I go to Create New, I go to Document, and as with any document, one of the first things I'm probably going to do is rename it so I don't have 40 things called untitled. I would rename it right here where I'd click on untitled and it'd give me a name, but I'm going to hold off on that for a minute. The main thing is I want to go over to share. When I click on the share button on the right hand side, because we now have contacts turned on and we have shared contacts turned on, it's kind of like the global address look in our Outlook email. I can come into this add people and I can start typing. And if I start typing Dan, it's the first name, there's Dan Brooks right there. So I can click on that and I'm sharing with myself right there. So it's fairly easy. I can share with my teammate, start typing Tara, and if I put a space and start doing last name, then it narrows it down even more. I choose her, and I can share with those people quick and easy. So that part of it is nice when I'm sharing with one or two people or I have a list of people I want to share with. I can do it very quickly that way. But another way I can do it, and this is the part where having contacts is really going to help with teachers and students. I'm going to instead come into choose from contacts, which is a little button. When I click into, I have to click on add people in that box, and then I can choose from contacts. And a new window opens up. And in that window, now I can do the same thing. I can start searching Dan Brooks. Oops. You'll see it's the entire district, so you kind of got to surf through. But when I click on them, they're actually added down at the bottom here. Now, I don't understand this because sometimes this happens, sometimes it doesn't. But I'm going to delete this enter names or email addresses because it actually tries to treat it like an address. Then I'm going to come back up here again, and I'm going to add a new person. First and last name, you do need to have full name. Another thing to know is if you know their username, that might be a faster way. For example, another teammate of mine, only one person comes up, Julie Starling. So all three of these people now are at the bottom here. And what I can do, and I could go through and I could add every student in my class, every student in my fifth period, every teacher on my team, every teacher in my building. And as I add them down to the bottom here, then if I hit save as group, a little button on the right corner, I'm going to name this group EdTech Test. And when I hit OK, it's all done. It's gone. Now I can go ahead and hit done down at the bottom, and it's still saving with or sharing with these people. If I hit share now, it's only going to add Julie because she wasn't in my previous example. And I'm going to close that. So this document is now shared private to me plus three more. Of course, if I click on this, I can come into where it says private. And this is a little trick that some people have found, and I can make it so people who have the link can access it. And if I do that, I can make it so they can edit, or I can just leave it so they can just view it. So that's something to know, is you can change that. But I'm going to go ahead and close out of this and show you how, now that I've created that EdTech test group, I can use that same thing. If I come back to a Google Doc and open up testing, this is a presentation now, but I'm going to just share that. I don't have to recreate that list. That list now lives in my contacts, that group of people. So I'm going to come over here to share again. But this time, when I hit share and I click down below on add people and I get that choose from contacts and I click on that, it's going to give me a new option. There's a drop down menu that says most contacted. I'm going to go in there and I see Ed Tech Test and there's 3 people in that group. All I have to do is select that. Then I have to hit all. Check mark goes in front. They're all added to the bottom. Again, I'm having a problem where Google and we're living in the web and this may not happen in another browser, but it's happening in an Internet Explorer. I have to delete those ones that aren't really addresses. And now I'm just going to hit done. Then I hit share and it will share with those 3 people that were in my list. So once I've created my list, my class, my team of teachers, whatever, they live in my contacts and I can access them by hitting share and going add from contacts. But there's another way to get to it now. Right up at the top you see contacts. If you don't see it there, go to the drop down menu that says more. I'm going to click on contacts. And this is a feature that a lot of people have been looking for who've been kind of using the contact sharing piece even though it wasn't really on. When I go into contacts now, there's the 3 people I added. I can individually add people here as well. I can add and make new groups here. But if this group of people changes and Tara is no longer in the list of favored people for that group, I could just delete her either from this group or I can move her out of this group. So the ability to remove people, add them to new groups, and rearrange people, that is available in the contacts button. The last thing we want to kind of make sure you know is this is just a quick overview. There's more you can do. You can come up to the top corner here and in the right corner hit help and it will take you out to Google's help for contacts. But remember, a lot of their help is centered on Gmail and using the Google Mail. That feature is not turned on in the Jeffco Schools domain at this time. So you have to kind of filter through the information they're giving you. The other piece to remember is that we will continue to add more resources into this Google Apps resource page. Under contacts on the left-hand side here, we'll put this screencast, we'll put other resources for how to use contacts in your classroom and in your school. Hope that helps.